Hello, this is Gerald Tilvamas. I had quite of a vague question which had a reference to the words. Now you can write these words with different letters. Is usually used in Dutch and in French. You find it also in English in with different letters, with the letter O or the letter U, but that will be explained as well, but I will use it in a different video. Let's go and look into the sound, how it is used in French and Dutch words, and how should we understand it. It's not there in the system, it's a combination of letters, so how should we interpret it? The letters themselves are really about focuses, and these focuses are given an order in a geometrical but also a numerical order, which gives us the opportunity also to give it an order how we give things an order in general. So as you count things, as you also distinct things in space, and then add time to it, and then add even more contextual frame to it, so that you really give it an order, a logical order. All the letters have a logical order, and I have systemized this into the system as well, but I will explain it, just a small part of it in this video, so that you have an idea why it is a logic and how this logic is built up. That's what this here in the background. I will not explain fully, but I will explain some of the words thanks with the help of this tool, of this scheme. So the itself, if you just take out the letters from the three different categories that we have. I have a category of spatial frames, you have a category of timing frames, which we need, of course, for the letter U and the letter E. The sound itself, as you hear it, is almost like almost one of the smallest spaces that you have. So it's more about, you have this reference of an essence, a certain essence. But what is this essence referring to? It depends on how it has been written. We usually have the sound most of the time with the E letter combined. The letter is always a reference to, it is about timing. We use it to time something, to have processes in it. We describe processes, we do something with it. So it's not just about a fixed point of a physical reference. It's also used to use it for something. That's already something that you can derive from, but here it's a combination of E, which is actually then a reference to it should be used for something, and the U, which is also one of these minimal points that it has a reference also with a numerical association. It's a point in space, but it's a point that goes from one to two focuses. So it is about, let's have the focus which is most clear to us, which we can use as a reference to do something with it. And now I'm going to explain it a little bit better, how we really have to see U. And the U is as a reference frame, it is a combination of yeses and nos in a way. It has it's a reframing of a point of reference. I will explain later why it is reframing. So we lose a little bit the finding of a point in space, and we reframe it to find the point where we can start from. But it also has this idea of that there's a point that we can start from, there's another point that we do not know very well. It's the awareness that there is something as well that we do not see, that we do not know yet. So we are dealing with that unknown factor as well, which is also used with the letter U, by the way. But we focus mainly, because the three-dimensional space, the whole point of having references in space is about framing it around a middle point. So we try to centralize it to around what we try to distinct as what we know. So we always start from what we have, but we also deal with what we do not have yet. And the explanation why this is associated as such, you do not have to accept it, is maybe well explained by having the order explained with its numerical aspects in the background as well. So we really have numbers as well. So the first level of letters are about the number 1, which is also going from going from 0 to 1, or T 1, and K more than 1, and the U is already 2. That's one of the associations that you have with the numerical system as well. 2, I mean going towards 2 as well, so it's not yet 2. And how do I associate it? The whole system goes from associating a point of reference in space, which is our associations, our starting point, our visions and so on, which develop and go towards what is different, what is further away from what we know and so on. And that's how we make language. We start from what we know and what we recognize until the things that are quite difficult to distinct, and then still make up our mind from how can we still describe it and understand or define what we can understand from it. That's language. That's what language is about. So the letter A is the starting point of the whole system, where you yourself decide actually your interpretation. So it's A is going towards 1, going towards a definition. With T, it's number 1, it's that definition. You're starting to define it. So you start from your point of vision. With A, with T, you go to the object and you start to recognize what is there, what do you have, and so on. As soon as it's enlarged in numbers as well, so if it's 1 to 2, it is that doubtful moment immediately that you see, okay, but maybe there's more than my definition, there's more than what I recognize, maybe there's a part that I do not recognize. That's the case, so that's the order of logic. The next point will be that dealing with what is different, but we restart our focus within U, but we already deal with that other aspect, that double aspect, that doubling aspect, that there might be something else that we might not even know yet, that we do not have yet, and so on. But the main focus in U at that second level is a refocusing on the center. The first letters on every level is about centering point of visions. We centralize our vision in U, but we deal with the different things. So what is U usually explaining? It's explaining our starting point from the limitations for what we know that we have, but also dealing with what we do not have. There might be something else. There might be something that we do not have yet. We can compare it to something else. And that's what will be also the one of the references that you have in words. Deals with the U, the undeveloped things as well, but the E goes towards what we what is different, what is the change actually. The E is in the second category of associations. It's about timing, about changes, so it focuses upon the changes. What is different? What do we have as differences? And if you compare it with U and as one sound, it's really comparing the differences, also the differences between two things, from what we do not have and what is different somewhere else. So it is really comparing it already in what is more, what is enhanced in a way, how it enhanced from our point of vision. And E is about timing. All what it is about timing also expands the space. It goes away from space. The focuses upon the physical aspects on the first 9 letters is about all what is can be defined on the space before us that is fixed, and that is almost like the flat earth before us, and the rest we do not understand. But once we are dealing with movement, we have to deal with a lot more things, with timing, with process, and so on. We go beyond space and we see but what is larger than our own space. We focus upon these things. How is something, for instance, also larger, more enhanced, different, changed, that kind of aspects. That's how we associate. So one of the things to associate the combination of U and E is with the E. It focuses mainly on what is different, because that's the E. It's the highlight of what is different, what the physical reality makes it different as well. Physical, the materializations are materializations are showing as differences. With U, also with that, something is not developed, another thing is developed. So it sees these differences. That's the mindset actually behind this combination of E and U. And I have an image there underneath which shows you already the difference. Now let's have some examples of words. So one of these examples, I have some Dutch words and I have some French words as well. So I have REUS or giant, DEUR or door, NEUS or nose, KEUS or choice, BEURRE or it's not exactly but okay, let's have it as well. Butter and LEUK, which is nice. So it's mostly these Dutch words fit quite well with that sound. Let's find out. I have first REUS, which means giant. So you have already here that aspect of we have that fixed world of U into this circle, but you also have enhanced it towards what is larger as well. So what is that point which is larger? So we have we focus also with the E, what is different, what has been enlarged, what has been enhanced. And of course, that's that comparison. I do not have that enlargement, but something else, somewhere else is that enlargement. That's already in there. Even without explaining the R and the S to it, you can already understand from the sound that it's that spatial frame is fitting very well with that word. How we focus upon upon what a giant is. Same thing with DEUR or door. It's also going from one space to another space. Here I explained the letter D. D is also going from one point in space towards another point in space where something is different. And also there, where you have something, almost like a different space, a different world. So with the door, you go from one space to another space where something is different. You have to do something for it. You have to move towards it. And that's going towards that point is what you, and it is also with that access point towards it. With the R, it's even more going towards it as well, is also there recognizable in that word. Nose with the N, it is more like you have something that pops out here as a materialization process within that starting frame as of space. You have the N of NEUS or nose that also will be shown as that enlargement here. Of course, we usually focus upon it, that we have it in front of us, but it's actually also with a certain length that you have it. KEUS as well, choice. We have the K or the breaking point. It leads to, again, something else, which is gives us a couple of options that will show us the things that are different. So of course it could have been enlarged, but here with K it will break it to smaller pieces, but it will gives us more possibilities. It gives us a choice, more possibilities. It's more like that. The extra letter here, a BEURRE, okay, it is a little bit more like than I was a little bit quickly. But also there you can see the B, there is something enhanced in the physicality, and it makes a reference towards what can make a connection actually, because here the sound is also a little bit more than that, making a connection to do something extra with it. So it was not the best example to have that one as well, but okay, you can already recognize it goes to something beyond that limited space, is already there recognizable in the writing down of the same letters. LEUK then, which means nice. Also the L itself is always a reference to physicality that is made visible, is made itself visible, and you focus also towards what do I have here as the extras with that K breaks it a little bit open. I see here some extras. It brings us to something extras, quite superficial a little bit, but it's leading us to something that we could understand simply by drawing it a little bit and giving it a guiding tool by the reference frames of the letters and the references that we already have to make it also more visible what is behind it, and the associations are made automatically also to make it understandable. Okay, I hope this was good enough to bring us closer to what could mean in these words. In the next video I will also explain some of the letters with that are written differently in English than with O and with U. That will be for the next time. Thanks again for watching. Bye.